At the end of December, I placed an order with Glaminatrix Cosmetics, mostly because I had a sudden and strong attraction to the Barely Basic palette, which came out, I don't know, maybe within the last year, and I wasn't that interested in when it came out, but then I was like, I need it. I will cease to be unless I have it. I also picked up a couple other things in the same order. I got this little blush duo in the shade Muted Mocha, and 4 singles, which is where we're starting today. I got the single H2O, which I've wanted for several months. They posted like a swatch on their Instagram when it first came out. I thought it looked so beautiful. I picked up Celestial, which is a pink that I thought looked pretty. And you may remember, they have, what do they call the collection? Do they call it Sparkle Lights? I think they call it the Sparkle Lights collection. I did a video when that collection came out in like the spring or the summer, and I was not a fan of that collection. So they came out with a part 2 to that collection, and I was like, I'm making the order anyway, might as well see if I similarly dislike the new ones, or if they've made improvements that make me like them more. So I picked up 2 of those new shades. We have the shade Gala, as well as Strobe. I still get comments on that video of people being like, thank you for talking me out of buying these. And I watched the video back not too long ago, and I was afraid that I was too harsh because I'm like looking at it and I'm like, these don't look bad. I wore one the other day and I was like, yeah, I still don't like it. To me, they just feel like very thin, ordinary shadows. They don't feel like that multi-dimensional, multi-sparkle shadows like you can get from other brands. And I know Glaminatrix can make really good shades. What's the name of that one? Skink. Skink is fantastic. I would go to war for Skink, but those other ones are just so like, ugh, in my opinion. I know there are people out there that like them, but not I. Let me tell you the plan. I just kind of hopped in. The plan is that I'm going to eye swatch these 4 new shades that I picked up. We'll see if there's any gems or what. And then I also want to try out the Barely Basic palette for the first time and I guess talk about my reasons for wanting that and see if that palette lives up to the expectations, the reasons that I picked it up. And when I do my full face, I'll definitely put on the cheek product also. I haven't heard a lot of mentions of their like other products. I heard, it might have been Angelica say that she really likes the, I think they have like a liquid blush that she liked. But this product, this like cream and powder duo, I'm pretty sure it launched at the time that I made this purchase, which was like right at the end of December, and they were having a sale. I am on a low buy now. If you don't watch my content, I'm on a low buy now, but I bought so much makeup at the end of the year that I'm still trying things out for the first time and like trying to wrap my head around them. So that's what this order is part of. Okay, let's start with H2O. This one actually looks like it might be a bit flaky. I'm not sure if it'll translate in camera, but like looking at it, I can see the texture in the pan. I can see the little pieces that make this up. And I'm also seeing the shift from blue to green as well as a pink sparkle. So I'm really excited about this. Okay, yeah, I feel the texture in the pan. I feel it like moving around. That looks really pretty. Nothing on my eyelid. Ooh. It smooths out very easily, but it is a bit of a flaky shadow, and you can see a little bit of fallout from that application. Ooh, look at that green flip. I've really been enjoying shades recently that are like a blue/teal to green, and I feel like this one would work really well layering over a shade like that, but also it's just so pretty on its own. I love how the light hits the teal, and then like the green is like a little bit more subdued, but then like bam, the light hits the teal. Everything explodes, the crowd goes wild. I like it. I love an interesting, light, cool tone shadow. Next up, let's talk about Celestial. I don't know what collection this is supposed to be part of, but I just thought it looked pretty, and like looking at the pan, it looks kind of like I want to say like a dulled down pastel. Like it's definitely like a light pink, but it's not like the brightest, lightest pink. I think I have a cat hair. And it looks like it shifts a little bit. Oh, I still have a cat hair. Sorry, there is a cat that lives in this room. And it looks like it shifts to copper a little bit. There's definitely some texture in this one too, but I feel like it's going to be more metallic looking than H2O is. Ooh. Oh, I'm intrigued. I feel like I try a lot of light pinks and I'm not always the most excited about them, but this one looks really nice. It's definitely way more of like a full coverage shadow compared to H2O. Like you can see like the metallicness to it, but I feel like as opposed to more traditional metallics, this one looks really sparkly, like a lot of little micro sparkles in there, including like a cool tone, maybe like a light blue sparkle. I really like that. And that copper shift that we saw in the pan is definitely evident in the shadow also. I'm really excited about this. This one I just completely was like on a whim when I was browsing the website. I was like, that one looks nice. It's so nice. I like this. We're off to a great start. I was just looking at these 4 in the pan and I feel like these 2 look bold and textured also. I'm really hoping we get some texture. I feel like that was part of my biggest complaint about the collection, the like first part of the collection. They were just so thin. I think I said already that I wore one of them last week and it just like, it looked so unspecial in my eye. Like right when I put it on, I was like, oh, that's kind of nice. And then I looked at myself in like the bathroom mirror at work and I was like, so hopefully these are special. Okay, this next one is called Strobe. This one looks like a little bit like a champagne. I can't tell what color sparkles are in here, but hopefully we'll see on the eye. Ooh, there's texture. There's texture. Yeah, that's definitely picking up way more my finger than the last collection did. All right, cool. That's it feels almost too textured. It feels quite thick. But now that I know this, next time I'll probably go in with a little bit of a lighter hand. You know, interesting though, the color doesn't feel that special. I am seeing like some pink and green sparkles in it, and I like that. I like multicolored sparkle, but I feel like, come on, focus. I feel like the effect that we're getting out of it is a little bit of like a champagne that leans a little antique gold, and that combo is not really my favorite thing. So formula, definitely a step up, but I still don't love this for its own sake. I think it looks okay. Gala looks really nice in the pan. This one looks more cool toned, and I'm just really into a cool tone sparkle. To compare, this is Strobe right here, and this is Gala. Strobe. I still feel like it looks more special in the pan than it does in my eye. Okay, Gala, I'm feeling some texture. All right. I always wonder with indie brands too, if they improve the texture or change the texture on like the second iteration of the collection. If you buy the first collection now, are you getting the formula that I got, or like have they made improvements to those too? That's what I wonder. I don't know. This looks really nice though. Ooh. Oh, that looks really nice. I was mesmerized by the shadow and I wasn't noticing if the fallout came from this shade, but there is fallout in this cheek that looks like a suspiciously similar color to what's on my eye. So I think there was fallout, but that looks really nice in the eye. Yeah, I feel like this one we're getting more of like a base color, shimmer color effect as opposed to like the multicolored sparkle effect. Because close up, I'm not seeing that much variation in the sparkle color. You're really just seeing this like yellowy brown base with this like cool toned light teal sparkle on top. Maybe a little bit of gold in the sparkle, perhaps. But I like the effect of it, and I feel like when it comes to multicolored sparkle shades, I love them. I think they're great, but I do think a lot of the times the multicolored sparkle is something that you only see close up. It's not changing the like effect of how it looks on your eye. So the shift in this shadow is way more visible like during conversation than the multicolored sparkle in this shadow is, you know? So I'm fine with how the shadow looks. I think it looks really pretty. Maybe not special in my collection. I feel like I might have shades like this because it is what I'm attracted to, but I like it, and I definitely feel like the formula has stepped up, or at least become something that is more in line with my personal preferences, which is like feeling the texture. Yeah, cute. I do feel like the perfect Glaminatrix Sparkle Light shadow would combine like a shift with the multicolored sparkle with this texture, but it's also possible that is somewhere else in this collection. I only picked up 2 of them. I didn't do that like extensive of research. There wasn't that much to go off of. I just looked at the swatches on the website and I determined I was most interested in these 2, but I probably won't be finding that out unless like people on Instagram start talking about a specific shade. I'm not really going to be seeking out more of these, I don't think, but I am excited about the improvements. Okay, this is part 2 of this video, and I'm actually using a different camera right now for the first time, so I don't know if it's going to look different or whatever. My viewfinder is usually over there, but now it's up there, and I feel like it's more obvious if I look at myself. Oh well. Okay, so we're gonna dive into the Barely Basic palette, which launched sometime last year, I'm pretty sure, and at the time that it launched, I wasn't that excited about it, but when I was thinking about it more and when I don't know, I can't remember what piqued my interest. It might have been in Bad to the Brow's top palettes. That might have been what it was. And I really like the Rich Romantic palette that I have from Glaminatrix. That's probably one of my favorite palettes, like pre-made palettes, because it's a good indie formula. There's like interesting iridescence and multichromes, but it also has like more neutral colors to ground it. So I was hoping this would be kind of like that kind of thing. Again, not the best reasoning. Like, I wouldn't recommend buying something because you already have something that you like, but that's the justification that I had used at the time. So I am excited to dive in. I'm especially excited that it has all of these iridescents because I love an iridescent inner corner. In the Rich Romantic palette, there's one. So every time I use that palette, I'm reaching in for that one shade, but I like the idea that I could do different neutral looks with this and have a different iridescent inner corner. So that's cool. I'm gonna swatch the iridescence. I don't think I want to swatch the whole palette, but I'll at least swatch the iridescence. It's also the same pan sizes as the Rich Romantic palette. So if I wanted to have my own like little Glaminatrix cinematic universe, ooh! Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, then I could do that with the 2 palettes. That's the sentence I was in the middle of. It looks like this one's like a pink, gold, green. This one looks like orange. This one looks like green to teal, maybe purple. And this one's more yellow. Really pretty. Ooh. With my old camera, I had to cut every clip like at like 45 seconds. Hopefully I'm staying in focus. And that was really annoying, and I feel like it stressed me out, and you could tell that I was stressed out in the videos. So hopefully I could be more relaxed, and I can just like, we could just let it flow. We could just let it record. Is it straight? Another thing, I feel like this is a little bit of like a trial and error right now, but usually when I do makeup on camera, I just do it in the viewfinder, but I feel like this is a little bit more awkward. The screen's a little bit smaller. I do have this thing. My creature from the Black Lagoon mirror. I could try that. I like also that this is kind of divided into a couple unique looks. We have this row that's more mauve, this row that's more warm, this row that's like greens, and this row that's more cool. The only thing I don't love is the shade names. I feel like they were going for like a basic thing named like Barely Basic, and I feel like it is a funny idea to have like leggings, pumpkin spice, very much like the basic autumn type of things. But then they have all these like influencer names, like, comment, subscribe, share. Does that mean that like, is having a YouTube channel basic? Is that what they're trying to tell me here? Okay, I'm leaning towards the more green row. Okay, so I'm starting with the shade Scrunchy. A little bit of fallout, not bad. I feel like old Glaminatrix mattes were very fallouty, and the more recent ones I've tried, and especially the Rich Romantic palette, was like a very easy to work with formula. And this definitely feels like an easy to work with formula. Oh, I guess I could zoom. I'm so sorry. How do I even zoom on this thing? Oh my god, I literally don't know how to zoom. Okay. Okay, zooming has been enabled. All right, so this was like a really easy application. My brush is very dirty, but I I wiped it off as much as I could. I like this shade. This is like a nice swampy green, but it also is on the neutral side, so I like that. I'm gonna try this like olive green, and I'm gonna try this LH Cosmetics brush with it. I'm blocking. Nice. Yeah, easy. Yeah, this was so easy. All of these were like, they just did exactly what I wanted them to do. There's like no fallout. I'm digging this. I have half a mind to just use one of these iridescents. Oh my god, they look so beautiful. Wow. Okay, let me swatch out these metallics because I can't remember what part I got into in that sentence, but I have half a mind to just use an iridescent on my lid because I'm concerned that these metallics might be a little bit too basic, if you will. Okay, here are 4 metallics. And I do feel like I'm less excited about these 4 than I am about the iridescents. Yeah, I'll definitely be using this another time, but I think I am going to use an iridescent for this look. Okay, which one? I'm gonna use the second one, which was like a little bit more orangey, because I feel like that would be an interesting contrast to the look. This is the shade FYP. And look at me just going back to using the viewfinder again. Nice! Ooh, I like this. Ooh. Yeah, and I like the fact that, I mean, I still have to play with the metallics and see how I get on with them and yada yada, but I could switch these out with some shades I like more from the Rich Romantic. I'm gonna put on my base off camera, but I will come back to do the cheek product with you. Okay, I'm back. I didn't finish all of my makeup, but I did put on my base, I put on my bronzer, and for the eye, I had used, like when it comes to the mattes, I used this green scrunchie and this green haul for my upper lid. So for my lower lash line, I used Subscribe, which is like the medium one, and I feel like it fits in really nicely. And then for my inner corner, I went in with the same iridescent that I had done on my lid, which was FYP. So for the blush, I'm really excited about this. I opened it because I was scared it was going to be hard to open. I'm excited for this. I really like this color. It's like a very, I'd say like a desaturated peach or something like that. I'm not sure about the whole like cream and powder together thing. I feel like I didn't need those to be together, but we'll dive in and see. Like, I assume that when they're together, it's because you're meant to use them both together, like use the cream instead of with powder. So I'm gonna try it like that. For creams, I always just go in with my fingers. So let's see. I don't have many balm blushes. The closest, or I guess the only one that I do have that I can think of, is the e.l.f. Active Lip and Cheek, which was a little popular a couple years ago and it's since been discontinued, and I don't use that very often, but every time I do, I'm like, wow, I love this. So I've had success with like compact balms before. It feels very thin, feels pretty blendable. I don't think it's disturbing my foundation, and I'm not even being that gentle, so that's nice. I guess the thing is just that now I'm gonna go into the powder with the brush, and my brush isn't huge or anything, but this is a pretty slim compartment for the powder, and there's no way to protect the cream. So I feel like after that first application of cream, I'm never going to have a powder-free application again. Oh, there's a lot of fallout. I don't know if you saw that on camera, but there's a lot of fallout on this, and I'm actually a little scared that this is going to be a very intense blush, and I'm scared it's not going to blend as well because it's going over that balmy base. Oh no. What have we gotten ourselves into? And now I have to do it on the other cheek. Yeah, that's kind of like the perfect storm, because if it was just over my base, I feel like I'd be able to blend it out a little bit more, but it like literally has something to adhere to. Color is nice. I've been trying to branch out with my blush colors a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can do something with my powder, but my powder is also almost done. We're on the home stretch for this powder. I think that did help a little bit. But the lesson this is teaching me is that I'll probably only use one or the other. Like on my nose, I went over lightly with the brush, with the powder, and from what I can tell, I don't think it looks that insane on my nose. I think it's just like the cheeks, it really just like stopped where I put it down. Which again, I would expect if I'm putting something over a cream product. So again, as far as I can tell, I feel like this has been rescued, but I wouldn't want to have to do this on a daily basis. I would just use a less pigmented blush. I know some people do like more pigmented blushes, and maybe that's just going to be the thing with the powder, but for me, I always would choose a blendable blush because it's so much easier to add more than it is to take it away. Okay, here is the finished look. I am really into this. I've been filming a couple videos, so I don't know what order everything's going up, but I just recently filmed the video where I tried out LH Cosmetics and I was kind of talking, I don't even know if I left this part in, but I was talking about how the look didn't feel very me and I wasn't feeling very like excited about the makeup. This is makeup that I'm excited about. I love these like mucky greens, and then I love contrast of having like warm with cool, having the orange with the green. I just feel like it looks so good. It blended so easily. I'm so excited to use this palette more. Am I in focus? that was a hiccup. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I feel like this has been a very successful trying out Glaminatrix video. The only exceptions I'd say is I don't like the blush as a duo. I would like it more if they were separate. And that first of the two new Sparkle Light shades, I could do without that one. But I feel like overall this has been pretty successful and I am pretty excited to now actually play with these things. I've been waiting to touch them to film. So like now that I have, they're unleashed. I am unleashed and I can do what I please with them. If you enjoyed this, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!